Hello, and welcome back to Talk Time English.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark.
And I'm Anna. We're so glad you're here with us. Today, we're talking about something many English learners can relate to: moving to a new country.
Yep. When you move abroad, everything changes. It can be exciting, but also a bit scary.
And there's a lot to think about. New routines, different food, maybe even a new language.
It's also a great time to reflect on your past, what you did before the move. That's why today's grammar point is the past perfect.
We'll explain how to use it to talk about things that happened before another event in the past. But first, let's listen to Carlos, who moved from Spain to Canada last year.
When I moved to Canada last year, everything felt new. But before I arrived, I had already done some things to prepare. I had taken English classes for a year, and I had saved enough money to live for a few months without working. I also had talked to some friends who had lived abroad. That really helped. Still, there were surprises. I had never experienced such cold weather before. My first winter was difficult. I remember thinking, I wish I had bought a warmer coat. But over time, things got better. I made new friends and started working. Looking back, I'm really glad I had planned ahead. It made everything a bit easier.
I love that story. It's great how Carlos reflected on what he had done before the big move.
Yeah, and that's the perfect way to introduce today's grammar point, the past perfect.
So, let's break it down. The past perfect is used when we want to talk about an action that happened before another past action.
The structure is had plus past participle.
For example, Carlos had taken English classes before he moved. He had saved money before arriving in Canada.
So we're talking about two events in the past, but one happened earlier.
Exactly. The past perfect helps make that clear.
Let's look at a few more examples from Carlos's story. He had talked to friends before moving abroad. He had never experienced cold weather. He wished he had bought a warmer coat.
Let's say some sentence together so you can hear how the past perfect works.
Before I moved to the city, I had lived in the countryside.
I had never tried sushi until I visited Japan. She had studied French before she went to Paris. We had planned the trip for months before we finally left.
Okay, Anna, let's make it fun. Let's share something we had done before a big change in our lives.
Ooh, good one. Before I started teaching, I had worked in a bookstore.
Nice. Before I began podcasting, I had recorded voice notes just for fun.
Before I adopted my cat, I had never had a pet in my life. So to all our listeners, what are some things you had done before a big change in your life?
Think of a new job, moving house, traveling, or even learning English.
Try to write down a few sentences using the past perfect. It'll help you see the sequence of events more clearly.
Remember, had plus past participle is the key to showing what came first.
And that's it for today's episode.
We hope you enjoyed hearing Carlos's story and learning about the past perfect.
Keep practicing, and soon this grammar will feel totally natural.
Thanks for listening. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark, and as always, I'm here with the wonderful Anna.
Thanks, Mark. So, what are we talking about today?
Today's topic is something that almost every English learner will face at some point: job interviews and first impressions.
Oh, yes. Super important. And of course, we'll focus on some useful phrasal verbs that you can use when talking about job hunting and interviews.
If you've ever had to dress up or show up early for a job interview, you've already been using phrasal verbs.
Nice one, Mark. So let's jump in. All right, I'll start with a little story. My first job interview? A complete disaster.
Ooh, tell us more.
Okay, so I was fresh out of college and I really wanted to land a job at this cool design studio. I showed up early, all dressed up, super nervous, but I forgot to bring my portfolio.
Oh no!
Yeah! The manager asked me to go over some of my past work, and I had nothing to show. I completely froze.
Yikes. But you recovered, right?
Luckily, yes. I followed up with an email and attached my work. They were really nice and told me to come in for a second interview.
That's awesome. So you didn't give up.
Never! And hey, I ended up getting the job.
Let's take a closer look at those phrasal verbs Anna used, because they're all great for interview situations.
Right. First up, show up. It means to arrive somewhere. For example, I showed up early for my interview.
Then there's dress up, which means to wear formal or nice clothes. You dress up for weddings, parties, or interviews.
Exactly. Next is go over to review or discuss something. Like, let's go over your resume.
Another important one is follow up. After an interview, you might follow up with an email or a phone call.
Then we've got give up, which means to quit or stop trying. But don't give up, keep going.
And finally, end up. It means the result or outcome of something, like, I ended up getting the job.
Now let's hear from today's guest, Rena, who had her first job interview completely in English.
Hi everyone, I'm Rena from Jakarta. I had my first English interview last year for a job at a travel agency. I was super nervous, but I had practiced a lot before. I looked up common interview questions online and wrote down my answers. The interview went okay at first, but I forgot one word and completely blanked out. Still, I took a deep breath, smiled, and kept going. At the end, I thanked them and said I'd follow up later. They called me the next day and I got the job.
Nice job, Rena. So many great phrases in her story, too.
Yeah, look up, write down, blank out, keep going, follow up, all real, natural phrasal verbs.
Time to practice. We'll say each sentence slowly so you can repeat after us. Ready?
If you mess up during the interview, just stay calm and keep going.
I need to brush up on my skills before the big day.
Try not to freak out if they ask a difficult question.
He came across really confident and friendly.
After the interview, she checked in with the company a few days later.
Great job. These are all expressions you can use not just in interviews, but in everyday conversations too.
All right, let's slow things down and go over those phrasal verbs from the practice, just in case some of them were new for you.
Yeah, they're super useful, and you'll hear them a lot in real life. Let's start with the first one. Mess up.
To mess up means to make a mistake. Like, if you say the wrong thing in an interview, that's messing up.
Exactly. Like, I messed up the answer, but I still got the job. It's informal, so it's more common.
Next, we said brush up on. That means to review or improve something you already learned.
Yeah, like, I need to brush up on my English before my trip. It's great for when you haven't practiced something in a while.
Then there's freak out, a very common one. It means to get really nervous or scared suddenly.
Like, I freaked out before my presentation, or she freaked out when she saw the spider. It's fun to say, but yeah, maybe not fun to feel.
True. Okay, next is come across. This one means the impression someone gives.
Like, he came across as very friendly. So it's not what he said, it's the feeling you got from him.
Exactly. And the last one was check in with someone. That just means to contact someone to say hello, give an update, or ask how things are going.
Yeah, like, I checked in with my friend after the exam. Or in a job situation, she checked in with the company after the interview.
All of these are great phrasal verbs to sound more natural and confident in English conversations.
And don't stress if you don't remember them all right away. Just keep listening. Keep practicing. And they'll stick. Time for our mini quiz. Listen. And try to guess the missing phrasal verb.
After I forgot what to say, I just took a deep breath and... Is it? A gave up. B kept going. C went off.
And the answer is B, kept going.
Exactly.
All right, folks. That's it for today's episode. We hope this helps you feel more confident in interviews and in using English.
Remember, phrasal verbs are super common in everyday speech. The more you practice them, the more natural your English will sound.
So don't give up and keep going.
We'll see you next time on Talk Time English. Bye!